The crisis of civil war was now over, yet so too was the need for an authoritarian figure like Octavian. The consulship gave Octavian his legitimate power after his term as triumvir had ended. In the summer, Octavian returned to Rome. He assumed the permanent title Imperator. The Senate voted Octavian a triple triumph, one for defeating Cleopatra, one for his Illyrian wars, and one for defeating Sextus Pompey. Triumphal arches in Brundisium and Rome were set up. Octavian's birthday and the date of Actium became a public holiday. Later, Caligula would end the 1st of August as a public holiday because it celebrated Romans fighting each other. A festival every 5 years in honour of Octavian was also voted by the Senate. Prayers and effigies were made to Octavian. He was given the honour of being able to sit at the front, which is where the elite sat. He was granted a siege crown. He was granted tribunician auxilium in perpetuity, the Athenian vote in court, and the right to judge appeals. The lex sania, a public vote, gave him the right to create patricians. The Senate ratified all of Octavian's acts, thus legitimizing all of his actions as triumvir, and voted him additional honours including closing the Temple of Janus. This signified that peace had been restored. Despite the end of the civil wars, with the death of Antony, the Republic was not restored. There was one man that prevented the constitution of the Republic from restoration: Caesar Octavian. By 28 BC, he had held the consulship 6 times. He had proscribed people and killed many Roman citizens and members of the elite. He had been elected consul in absentia at least 3 times, which was illegal. He had been consul almost every year since 31 BC, which was also illegal, as one had to wait 10 years before holding the same office again. He had not climbed up the cursus honorum, that is going through the republican offices from quaestor to aedile to praetor to consul. In addition, he had all 24 lictors, the men that hold the fasces and signify the imperium, power of a magistrate. Effectively, the lictors were a kind of bodyguard for an official and fulfilled some civil duties. A consul was supposed to have 12 lictors. By having 24, not only was Octavian raising his status above all other magistrates, but most likely deprived the other consul of the 12 he was supposed to have. Indeed, Octavian had been co-founder of the triumvirate that had interfered with the normal running of the Republic. If you were a Roman aristocrat in 29 BC, would you think that the Republic had been restored? Probably not. However, what was Octavian going to do now? The crisis was over. Peace had officially been established. He had triumphed over all enemies. His acts had been made legal. He had been highly honoured. The Senate, as much as they had been celebrating the conqueror of Egypt, were more likely giving Octavian no excuse to continue to act with emergency powers or find cause to renew them. All of this was voted by the senators that had stayed in Rome, and so were his backers, or at least indifferent to Octavian, which must tell you something about the attitude of the aristocracy to what had become a tyrant. This is very understandable, based on his acts and building programs such as the construction of the Tomb of the Julii. Octavian looked far more like a monarch with Rome under his dominion than a man who was about to restore the Roman Republic. Octavian at this point had 2 options. Either he had to step down and restore the Republic, or find a way to legitimize and institutionalize his power. I have been your host, Daniel Maynard. Be sure to like, subscribe and share this video, and this has been Eastern Roman History.